Alright, alright, alright. Hello, 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 hello. How are we doing tonight? A little bit of a spoiler, I suppose. But because of the Acuna pool the last night we were live, I was able to finish live series and get 99 Carlos Beltran. Quite excited. Great excite. Much success. Very, very big relief. I jokingly commented on somebody's video that I finally feel like I'm free and I can just do what I want now. Yeah. Feels good, man. Feels good. I do need to look at something real quick. If this will let me. Input. Go to HTML2. I keep promising Patrick I'll download it, so I need to download it. Alright, I'm connected to Wi-Fi. I need to download the Call of Duty update anyway. Okay. You're still seeing my Xbox, but I flipped my monitor to, I suppose that's the thing about using the Elgato. The pass-through is still working. I unfortunately still have yet to have a chance to try to fix that stupid notification. Whoa. Did that already finish? 25 gigs, that's not too bad. P06, that's the Warzone update. Okay, go to my library. Alright, it's queued for download now, Patrick. I hope you're happy. I'm going to get rid of this, free up some space, because I'm sure I need to. Literally leaves 3 games on here. You cannot. Okay, I can at least remove it from home. Okay, it's downloading. It's downloading now. Jeez. Just had a feeling it'd been long enough that it was time for an ad. Trying to remember, I think I have this is the last starting pitcher I gotta do. I need to do the Cubs total bases and PXP challenge. I need to finish Jeff Hoffman, I want to say. I know I used him a little. Man, it's amazing how, like, a day and a half of not playing this, it feels so foreign. I say not playing it, but, like, not holding the controller. I did get maybe an hour total at work on the Switch. Like 2 little 30-minute segments to kind of... I worked on doing the PXP for the cards I already had from the Color Storm programs. I did get a bunch of packs. I didn't pull a damn thing. Patrick, were you still here the other night when I pulled the 94 Acuna card? Pretty amazing. But made the business decision to sell him to finish collections, and now I'm literally just like trying to grind up stubs to buy him back, or buy somebody else back, like buy anybody that I'd like to have on my God squad to go with, you know, the only 99 overall hitters in the game. Excuse me. Didn't see me freak out or anything. Definitely did a little. I'd only pulled like one other 90 overall or higher player this year, and it wasn't a very good one. Didn't even say bye. Like when I ended stream, yeah, I did. I swear I did. Thought I did my same little sign off that I always do. Maybe I'm losing it though. Who knows? That's alright. You just drink and pretend like you know what you're talking about. It's fine. People usually just go along with you. So stop calling me out on it. Just let it be. You wanted an individual goodbye? I'm sorry. I assumed that if you were there, well, yeah, you're definitely special. Did you ever ask your parents why the bus you rode to school was so short? Or why the other kids in your class didn't have a helmet? But yeah, you hadn't said anything in the chat in a while, so I just assumed that you were either like playing, like focused on what you were doing, or you'd gone for the night. Oh. A terrible swing after a whole bunch of them that were really good in a row. And then another one. Getting too excited and yanking down. Cooking a pizza. That definitely sounds like you. I can't tell you how many hundreds or maybe even 1,000 times at this point I've heard you say, just a second, I gotta go get pizza out of the oven when we're playing Call of Duty. Or, when we're drinking and playing Call of Duty and you don't go check on your pizza for a while and burn the shit out of it. You've only done that a few dozen times. Luckily, haven't burnt a house down in the process of doing that. Definitely sounds made up. Does it though? Oh. What's your go-to frozen pizza to cook right now? It's been a while since I bought a pizza to cook at home myself. Like usually my go-to is like the deep dish pepperoni from Little Caesars with the Italian cheesy bread. Either that or I have been enjoying that new pretzel stuffed crust one. Good job, Soriano. 2 outs in 1 inning. Thanks, bud. By the way, Patrick, I don't know if you got to watch the game today. I'm going to need you to download me on it because I didn't get to watch any of it. Just the disappointing alerts to my phone. I did see that apparently Crochet, just tossed a gem, so I'd still like us to have a little better production, but Crochet's been pretty good this year, so if he had a good day. Brand, I guess. And type, if you have a certain type that you're liking. I'm usually just pretty traditional, like pepperoni. I mean, that was all their offense for the whole day. So, I mean, you basically saw the whole game. There was Story that hit the bases clearing. I didn't know we had 2 outs. I guess I could have put 2 and 2 together where he was at in the lineup. But, yeah, I saw that we gave up 3 in the top of the first, and I was like, well, here we go again. But then we answered pretty quickly with the 1, didn't we? I felt like we did. Like in the second or third, maybe? Why'd you even send him out there if you're going to just yank him after 1 run given up? Like, confusing. I should have taken better swing. We met my sister and brother-in-law and niece and nephew and went to the Rangers game today, so I didn't... That was cool. I got to watch that game, but I didn't really... I was going to hit a bomb, but I didn't see what I... Well, so it was either the bottom of the first or, third, fourth, whatever inning he came up the second time. I feel like we answered back kind of quick. Speaking of answering back, as we're walking out of the stadium today, we walked by a TV and Georgia was winning 9-7, and the bottom of the ninth was starting with OSU coming to the plate. OSU ends up winning the game 11-9, I believe it was, which I'm guessing has to mean walk-off homer with the game being tied. That's the only way they could have got that many runs, I'm pretty sure. Crazy. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe it was the top of the ninth and they were the visiting team. I swear they were the home team in that game. But I'm losing it, so who really knows? Did you see that? I mean, I'm sure you've probably seen on Facebook that Connor Cunningham's playing shortstop for Murray State, but they started their regional out 2-0. And I do believe I saw that Ole Miss hit a home run to take a 4-3 lead in the game tonight, but starting to feel kind of old when the little kid that sat in the dugout when you played college baseball is now a college shortstop somewhere. Pretty crazy. And he's starting for them as a freshman. Right, and for some reason I was wanting to say that he was like 5 years old, but he had to have been like 7 or 8 if he's 18, 19 now, right? No? The math would math out correctly if he was like 5. Because it's not 10 years since 2011 anymore, it's fucking 14. So yeah, he could have been 5, 6 years old. And be a freshman in college now. Fucking wild. I thought it was pretty funny, the one that Coach Cunningham shared, I think it was yesterday maybe, from when he was an assistant with Coach Kelly at UCA and they went to Ole Miss for a regional. And now Connor's playing there in a regional. Wild. Which I haven't seen. Is he still at UCA? I don't remember where Coach Cunningham is at now. I did see Murph got tagged in some photos from some conference by P and Bear's dad. I'm not gonna lie, I looked at like 3 of those photos before I realized it was Bear in the picture with him. Not a great swing. Right. Well, and I feel like the month of June is going to have to be a given for us to be buyers at the trade deadline, probably. It'll probably be a little late by July. Like, which I guess you could be saying that we have to have both, which is valid. I suppose I'm just being first step type person. Like, we got to have a good month of June. Doink. Yeah, man. I haven't initially been on the rag on Snit train, but it's starting to get worse. Oh, and here comes Jupiter right as we start talking Braves. Nice. But man, the dugout videos of when AJ fucked up his UCL, it doesn't look good. Like people have pointed out, he's sitting there locked in on the game. It's like, how do you not notice a 10-mile-per-hour drop in your starter's fastball if you're that locked in? And Strider like knew immediately and came and told Craney, and they kind of just sat there and watched him, get fucking shelled a little more. And it's like, come on, guys, how do you miss that? Man. Well, like I said, yeah, it's a give. If we wait until July, it'll be too late. Like, if we play what we're playing now, which is like 700, 800 ball, like, we can't be like, lost another series today too, man. Just fucking, it's getting old. Especially with how bad the Red Sox have been playing, man. I feel like we pissed away the series in Fenway, and then like we just didn't play good this one at all. Yeah, I hope exactly like you said. I hope he wakes up because the rumbling's starting to get louder, and like the points that are getting pointed out about him, like with the poor management of the bullpen and like just like almost being an empty uniform in the dugout instead of being the leader in the dugout. It's just, and I like Snit, but I suppose this is when you kind of prove why you're drawing the paycheck that you're supposed to be getting overpaid so much for, and it doesn't feel like he's helping any of the issues that we're having. That's a really bad inning after quite a few really good ones in a row. I don't know. It's always tough to like hang it all on a manager because they're literally like filling out a lineup card and fucking sitting there and watching the game. But I don't know about full-blown Biden-esque, but it's not the worst comparison ever, if I'm being honest. He's just had some moments where he just seems very aloof and he's not there. Somebody else pointed out when they were talking about, the missing the AJ Smith shover and letting him throw to, like, what was it, 2 more hitters after the initial wince and shaking off his elbow. Like missing the Jared Kelenic thing. He was right on it a few years ago and ready to bench Acuna on a ball that he didn't even get thrown out on, and then just completely missed the one with Kelenic when he literally got thrown out at second and killed a rally for us. He just doesn't seem to be in it half the time. I don't know. God, I wish I knew how to Photoshop, because nothing would be funnier than, like, finding a way to put Joe Biden's face in Snickers' body in his uniform with the little handlebar mustache he's been rocking here this year. That shit would be so funny for a thumbnail. But I am not any good at Photoshop. God, I hate this card. I'm so glad that I'm almost done with it. Yeah. And that was the first thing I thought with that whole situation, is like, when Acuna first came, he's a totally different type of player. He was very much the over-the-top bravado, like, he kind of needed a reality check in that situation, whereas Kelnic's really not like the run his mouth, strutting up the baseline type shit. So I didn't hate the opposition of those two scenarios, you know. Now, was Acuna's reasoning, especially since Kelenic wasn't fucking producing, hadn't been ever since we got him, really? Like, could we really afford for you to run into an out at second base because you thought you got one? No. Brother, we can't score runs in the first place. Get the fuck to second base. Yeah, they said that Nick Allen is still doing okay. He's like listed day to day. I'm sure it was probably just one of those, like, don't want to rush him back and it turn into a real issue, so basically make it a long weekend off for him and then bring him back this next week. It sucks that the guy that's, like, leading the league in defensive runs saved and, like, obviously early odds on favorite for a Gold Glove at short, but it sucks to have him out for any amount of time. If that's what we've got him for, we don't have a shortstop that's a stick in the lineup. We've got a glove, and so it is what it is, man. Just more of the same with this year. Like, fucking try to keep our head above water and survive while it keeps going on. Holy fucking shit! My brother in Christ, how are you still pitching? Oh, he stepped into it. Ooh. He's got a strong jaw, that's what it is. It's like cheekbone. Whew. He didn't even really do the usual thing where they flail all over the place. He just kind of fucking rolled around the back of the mountain, right back up there. Perfect first pitch up and in slider right afterwards too. I fucking bet, man. I fucking bet. God. Get that guy some Cialis so he can get it the fuck up. I guess I was a little on top of it. But fuck, man. Oh, y'all would not. I don't know what made me just think of this. Probably just the general stupidity of people. But we have a new issue at work that I would have never guessed would have been an issue. So they put in a new power line through town, and one of the ginormous poles, like the big kind that you see go from city to city, huge, big motherfucking power line, like can withstand a hurricane type shit. They plant one of these poles on the hospital's property, and it's too close to the helicopter pad, so flight crews won't come get patients at night now. They had to land at the old hospital, where my EMS station is, and then one of our crews, it was me last night, yay, has to get up, drive the ambulance 20 feet forward out of the stalls, get the crew off the helicopter in the ambulance, take them to the hospital so they can load up their patient, and then drive us all back to the helicopter pad at the old hospital like a bunch of assholes. I didn't get any Uncrustables, man. I still need some Uncrustables. I did see... What did I see? It was like a... I saw something that had to do with Uncrustables. Now I can't remember what it was. I thought it was hilarious. I don't think it was an ad. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I've ever seen an ad for Uncrustables. They just kind of advertise for themselves. It's a PB&J without crust. But yeah, my partner was telling me about the issue with the power pole and flight crews not coming anymore. And I was like, nah, man, there's no way. I was like, they've literally had helicopters come get people the last couple weeks while you haven't been at work. And no, he was correct. It's a nighttime issue. And the first day that they had that pole up, there was an issue where a flight crew almost flew into it because they put the pole up, called it a day, didn't put the light on top of it before they went home. Excuse me. Crazy. You want to talk about one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of in medicine, period. But, like, since I started EMS. The hospital and the power company and the city didn't communicate with each other at all and be like, hey, there's a helicopter pad right here. You can't put that big ass pole there. It's too close. Please stay fair. You bitch. Yeah, very small. You'd be surprised how often they refuse because of like weight, especially if we run on a serious call at a prison where somebody's been stabbed in the eye or some shit where they got to go to a specialist. Depending on the size of the dude, and then one guard has to go with them. Like, there have been many times flight crews have refused because of weight-related issues, or because of how small they are. Like, it doesn't even have to be that windy, but they can't fly a lot of times because of wind. They all fit very snug in there. That's how they do it. But yeah, I had fun today. My sister found some really good price tickets just to like. We sat in the nosebleeds, basically like the seventh row of the upper deck, the third deck. But $18 a piece. You can't beat that with a stick. And they played well, and well, it was cool for the rest of us. My brother-in-law is a Cardinals fan, so he was a little bummed that they lost. But the rest of us were just rooting for the home team. Like my nephew, young kid that's grown up now in the East Texas area, like he's a Rangers fan. Like the first year they lived in, or no, they'd lived in Texas for a little bit, but he was still really young when they won the World Series, and so all of the kids in his class or that he played baseball with were all super stoked about that. So he's a Rangers fan now. Poor kid. But yeah, I haven't got to keep up with as much college baseball this weekend as I would have liked, but I know that there's been some. Vanderbilt apparently is the first team in history to be the number one overall seed and not even make their regional championship. Like, they got bounced in the first game today. No, back-to-back perfect outs. Fuck yes. Thanks, man. I've had too much fun scoring a bunch of runs and, doing the shit I needed to do this game. Let's punish me for taking a perfect swing a few times in a row, huh? I actually got brisket mac and cheese. It was really good. There was like a whole barbecue place near our section that there was a whole bunch of different. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wish I hadn't have. My sister got a Philly cheesesteak that was amazing looking, but I didn't see it till it was like a little farther down past the place that had all the brisket stuff. And oof, man, that would have been awesome. But yeah, I got brisket mac and cheese and a Ziegenbach beer, I believe it was. I think it was Ziegenbach. My wife split her brisket sandwich with our daughter. My daughter's actually becoming quite a big fan of brisket. Yeah, well, and everybody in my family turned and told me before I even saw it, because mac and cheese is like my favorite food on the planet. I'll get mac and cheese literally everywhere, any chance I can, most of the time. And so they all saw it on the menu when we were walking to our section, and all turned around and was telling me. I was like, oh, I see it. I was like, I guess I know what I'm eating. It was very good. It was, I'm going to sound like too much of a mac and cheese nerd, but it was probably like the perfect amount of creaminess. It wasn't like too watery, cheesy. And then with the brisket in there, it was very good. The brisket wasn't too dry. J-Mac. Probably. It would have been very fitting. And it would have worked if we'd have incorrectly spelled our last name. The Mags comes from my last name, and it's spelled the way it sounds, not the way everybody else spells my last name. We had some cheeseburgers tonight for dinner when we got home. But I'm not going to lie, I'm already thinking about some pizza rolls. I need to try to take some time tomorrow and troubleshoot or report an issue with the owned pro support or something, and see if I can't get that stupid alert working. Because honestly, it sounds, might be the fat kid in me, but it sounds like a lot of fun to do a stream like that where I like eat a chicken nugget for every sub or eat a pizza roll for every sub. I think it would be hilarious. I'm not gonna lie though, I've had like 3 or 4 plates so far out of this bag, so I'm gonna need some pizza rolls soon. I guess that's an excuse to go to the store and maybe get some Uncrustables as well. Yes, we were talking about pizza rolls though, Patrick, not just like regular pizza. God, way to come in and make it weird. I'm not gonna lie. What did we get distracted talking about? But I asked you about pizza, like what kind you were getting, or what kind you've been making recently, and I don't remember you ever answering. I'm scrolling up now. Yeah, you didn't fucking answer me. I asked you what kind of pizza you've been eating lately, what brand, what kind. Shocker, you just fucking ignored my question. No, he's dangerous. He likes cooking frozen pizzas when he games, and he forgets about them and almost burns his fucking house down all the time. Okay, not all the time. Just when he drinks when he games. I suppose would be the more fair description of that. Hey, we're on the right path anyways over here. I got it downloading at the moment. Hey, a Chase Pack 11. That's the one that's got a Cunha in it. I'd never get lucky enough to pull him twice, but okay, well, I'm not even going to get a shot at him, so it doesn't matter. I'll just fuck off. See, I feel like twice really undersells it. I don't feel like it was only twice. I feel like it's been way more than that. I can't tell you how many times you've come back when we were like playing COD and you're like, I burnt my pizza. I feel like it's been, like I said, dozens, like 20, 30 times. Papa Murphy's. Okay. Yeah, because that's like you order the pizza, but you still have to cook it, right? You can order whatever toppings and shit you want, but you have to cook it. Bread Baron is a good one. That's usually probably the one that I'd go with if I had to pick one. I should look at that real quick, see if I'm done with. Not done with his yet. Take a wild guess and say I'm not done? Yeah. Fucking fantastic. Yeah, and when it's only $5 a piece, you can burn them all you want. I like DiGiorno. They've had some interesting like specialty kind of pizzas in the past that I've enjoyed getting. Same. Same. But what are you gonna do, man? Make some pizza rolls is what I'm gonna do, actually. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. It's gonna sound weird to say after I said that my go-to is usually deep dish pepperoni from Little Caesars, but I'm not for too much just like fluff for the sake of fluff. Or maybe it's the type of dough that it has. It doesn't seem like just wasteful, I guess, would be how I'd explain that, if that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't finish either of them. 1 inning, 1 strikeout. I need 2 innings, 3 strikeouts. Just put Murphy out there. Oh, nice. Yeah, he usually gets a pretty good like Future Stars or Pipeline card. This one was pretty. It was a free card in that program, so it was pretty underwhelming. I just didn't even really try him. Like those, even day one, those hitting attributes was kind of. If you could force yourself to grind him out to P5, then he kind of became decent. But there's what's his name? Graceful Swan. Like used him all year as his center fielder because of his speed. Two innings, 3 strikeouts, 1 inning, 2 strikeouts. Yeah. He probably knows what you're talking about, Jupiter, and he's just being a smartass. That's kind of like his go-to thing. Maybe a little earlier there. That stinks. Oh, gotcha. Sorry, I didn't know you were such a Jordan Lawler lover. Jeez. Speaking of pizza, this is going to correlate here in a second. Being in Colorado for this game made me think of it. Patrick, I tell people all the time, I don't even know that you were in the group that went to it, but there was this pizza place we went to the second year at Oklahoma Wesleyan when we were in Colorado for the national regional. And I always tell people that it is hands down the best pizza I've ever had in my life. It was when we went to that mall and we went and saw the Avengers afterwards. We were like killing time that first evening, basically. And a lot of us went to this pizza place, and this old Italian dude was like giving us samples for free. He gave us an appetizer for free. He was super nice, and it was like a brick oven style place. It was hands down the best pizza I've ever had. And I can't remember for the life of me where we were at. I know it was kind of near Aurora because we actually went to that movie theater where the douchebag shot all those people during The Dark Knight. Did you go to the Avengers when we all went and watched? I know you and me went and saw Thor the first year when we were at the World Series in Ohio, but yeah, it was awesome. The dude was great. I have multiple issues with something like that where I find some hole in the wall place that serves me the best thing I've ever eaten, and then I can't ever find it or remember where it was. Like me and my buddy Antonio were walking around, the French Quarter. I think it was New Year's Day. We were down there for the Sugar Bowl, and his wife wanted to, stand in line for the beignets at that super famous place, and we were like, we want real food. And we're just like walking around drinking some beers, and this old Cajun dude is like standing in a doorway of an old building with a bright red door. He's like, "You guys looking to eat some lunch?" And we were like, "Yeah," and we like walk in, and it's this old school bar, almost looked like a speakeasy. We sit down at the bar, and he didn't like ask us what we wanted. He just brought us bowls of gumbo, and oh my god, it was amazing. Tried to take her dad and brother back to it, and we couldn't find it the next day. Super sad. That does sound good. My family is literally at the beach right now too. Like good seafood, good Cajun food. I'm craving it real bad right now because my mom, my stepdad, they're down there right now with some of his family. And my mom's sending pictures from the beach every day, and I'm just like, go away, leave us alone. We just out here, sucking through normal days. Or like yesterday when I was literally at work, she's like, "Oh, what a nice, beautiful day. This is the nicest weather I've ever had in 3 years of coming down here." And I was just like, leave me alone. It's hurtful. My big one that I usually crave is Cajun food, though, which New Orleans was a great place to be for that. Today's the first day after crawfish season as well. Sad day. Very sad day. I love crawfish. I've done this the last couple years. I get all excited, and then I literally only get it once. I only take the time to get crawfish one time. I would love to go this year. I just got a feeling it's not really in the cards for us this year. Having the under 1 year old kid, like you either got to fly with her or you got to drive the whole way there. And last year we drove when she was like 9, 10 months pregnant, and I was thinking of the drive like any time that we'd done it when I was living in Southeast Arkansas. It's like 5.5, 6 hours. Didn't think about the fact that you had to add another 4.5, 5 hours to drive from Dallas that far east just to get there. It was a long, miserable drive last year. The drive down there. The drive back didn't seem as bad. It's usually like the anticipation of getting there that always I feel like makes it worse driving down. Yeah. Man, all I go to the beach for, sit on the sand under an umbrella, drink from probably a little too early until it's time to go to dinner. And the food, man. I love the food down there. When was it? Would have been 22, because it was the year after we won the World Series. I flew down after my family got down there because I had to work the Wednesday, Thursday. And when they picked me up in Pensacola from my flight, we went to Wahoo's game. And that was when Soler had just went to the Marlins and was doing a rehab stint. And so I got his autograph after the game. That was pretty cool. I got it back there somewhere. The year after he was our World Series MVP. And then I think like the day before they announced that Yuri Perez was going to start the Future Stars game. And so I got his autograph as well. He also had like a BR card that year that was really good right before that. And so I was very well aware who Yuri Perez was before that minor league game. I'm quite jealous now that I think about it, because Jupiter, you literally don't have that much to travel to get down. I don't know where you even go. You did say Florida, right? Yeah, I'm not crazy. Yeah. Awesome. Fucking double play ball. But, yeah, going from Georgia to Florida, that's still a pretty short trip compared to going from the Dallas Fort Worth area over there. We usually go somewhere in the Floribama area. We've stayed in like the Perdido Key area. We've stayed in Orange Beach. We've gone to Destin as well a couple times. Me and Tricky, our spring break trip, the college we played for, we went to Pensacola. We stayed in Pensacola for about a week, our whole week of spring break. Well, we didn't stay there the whole week. We usually traveled one day and like played somebody on the way, and then would like leave a day early, stay the night somewhere, and play somebody, and then travel the rest of the way back after that game. But yeah, we played Mobile. We didn't the year before when his brother was there and we weren't yet. They played, it was like West Florida or something. I feel like the name of it. I don't remember the name of that. They apparently didn't like losing or almost losing to our school the year before, and so they backed out of playing us the next year. Was what the assistant coaches had told us. Ooh, finest. All-Star game, deluxe. Nice. Some more packs open too. But yeah, really wish I was at the beach right now instead of at work yesterday, or just gonna be back at work in a few days anyway. I'd love for me, my wife, and my kid to be able to be down there right now, but just like I said, I don't think it's a trip that's in the cards for us with how little the girl is right now. So, side note, any real baseball fans listening to this, I knew that Marcus Semien was not having the greatest of years. I didn't know he was hitting 197 on the year. Going into today. 197. That's pretty bad. And he actually had a pretty good day today. I believe he had 3 hits. RBI double was one of them. But yeah, dude has been struggling this year. Which I wouldn't say I'm like a Rangers fan, like as I sit here in a Rangers shirt, talking about going to a Rangers game. Like, I root for them, don't get me wrong, but like I'm not been out of shape if they win or lose most of the time. But that doesn't look like a great contract right now. He didn't have a great year the first year he was there. He had an amazing year in 23 when they won the World Series. He had a very bad year last year, and he's off to a very bad start again this year. And they paid him a lot to come in and move to second base, and doesn't look great so far. I pulled that dude 3 times yesterday. Blue. Left field's nobody exciting. This is an 8,000 stub card. That's the second time I pulled him out of these packs. Ooh, that's tough. The blue lights could be something awesome worth 150k, and instead it's fucking Lou Brock. Woo. Trying to remember. It's been, honestly, I don't know if I've pulled Shohei any year except for in 22. And in 22, I had to buy him to do live series, and then I pulled him like a month later. I've had some half decent luck with pulling like Trout, but which, including the other night to end stream when I pulled it, but he wasn't worth much now since he got nerfed like crazy in that first roster update. I've pulled Trout 3 times this year now. Twice when he was, going for over 100k, so I won't complain about that. I pulled Cattell twice, but I don't have a single 90-plus live series pulled this year, which made it a very slow, arduous process to complete live series without spending a bunch of real money. Is Jackson Holiday going to turn it on this year and start looking like what everybody expected him to be? I know he had a really bad start out the gate, but I say that. He got a hit in his first game. He went 1 for 4 with a hit. But then he proceeded to go 1 for 20 afterwards. I'd like to see him have success. Probably biased because he's from Oklahoma. He's from Stillwater, and I lived in Stillwater for a while. I'd like to see him and his brother do awesome things in Major League Baseball. I loved his dad as a player. I thought he was a fun guy to watch. Really one of those that kind of stunk when he became such a journeyman near the end of his career, where he was on 6 different teams over a 5-year span, it seemed like, to end his career. Because honestly, when I really think of Matt Holliday's career, I think of the Rockies and the Cardinals. Don't get me wrong, I'm aware of all the other teams he played for, but when I think of highlights from his career, those are really the only ones I think of. I can't think of any real highlights that he had as a Yankee or as an Athletic. Yeah, dude, did anybody see that the Marlins released that kid that had 3 errors in a game? That made I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to say. it became like a whole story for some reason, and like Tatis even commented on it because they played them when it happened. But yeah, apparently they released him yesterday, today, something like that. Pretty wild of a shitty team to get rid of somebody that quickly. When I believe he's been hitting quite well. Fuck you, Joe Ryan. I don't mean for that to be so personal against him directly, but if there's nothing worse in this game, it's pulling somebody who just got upgraded to Diamond in a roster update, because the market is just flooded with way too many of those cards at quick sell value, and so they're worth nothing. Nice hair. It's kind of funny though, every year, like, I feel like my pack luck always seems to get. It could just be like coincidence, or it could be the game legitimately being like, hey, you've decided to hang around and keep playing, maybe we'll reward you. But my biggest pulls out of packs always seem to be after I finish live series. Is Brett Phillips still trying to be a pitcher? I know that was the thing like near the end of last year, wasn't it? But I haven't seen anything about it anymore recently. He hadn't retired since he's clearly still in the game, but same with Joey Gallo. There was that initial like video of him throwing a bullpen, and then there's been nothing since then. Gwinnett Striper's legend, James McCann, right there. Hey, Doogie. I hate that he cooled off so hard, because it looked like he was going to have a resurgence-ass year for us. I didn't know Sam Haggerty was a Ranger until I was at the game and he was in the lineup today. He actually had a really funny walkout song. He was doing Mambo Italiano by Dean Martin. I don't even know if that's the right name for that song, but you know what? The song that Dean Martin sings where he says that, hey Mambo, Mambo Italiano, hey Mambo, Mambo Italiano. Yeah. Pretty unique. I wouldn't say weird, because it was catchy. I caught myself singing it every time he came to the plate, so if that's what you were going for, you did it. You did the thing. Hey, Lou Roxol. Oh, Money Mike. He is not hitting for power this year, and it's starting to depress me. He showed so much potential in his rookie year. The ability to hit for power and average. Like, when a dude hits like 265, 270, whatever he did in his first year in the bigs, everybody's like, oh, watch out. He might be somebody. Finished. Did he won the rookie of the year, didn't he? And Strider finished second. But his power numbers, I feel like, have just gotten worse and worse each year. And I don't know if that's what people just like intentionally match up in him to death against lefties. Because I feel like in the game it also seems, I feel like it's very misleading. He always has like reverse split power in the game, but that's probably because he faces so many stinking lefties, being at the lower half of our lineup. And he's like the more dangerous hitter in the bottom of our lineup. So it's like, yeah, who are you going to go after with a matchup advantage? Probably him. Harris is 1 for 6 against Crochet. Everybody was down against Crochet today. My strikeout rates. Except Olsen, he's way up. Acuna had a 5-star, but only got +7 somehow. Two-star, he was down. Oh, okay. Man. -11. I'm sure this is probably about... No? 1 for 6 against Crochet. I was going to say, probably how shit he's swinging it this year. I was going to say, this has to be matchup data is limited, and they're nerfing the shit out of a live series card to do it. That's weird. Man, his price has climbed up quite a bit since I sold him. That stinks. I guess I should have thought of that and kept him, because the next day the new Chase Pack player came out, and so he wasn't going to be getting pulled as often. He's gone up like 60K since I sold him.
just don't really find that worth it doing all that just to use a DH that I'm not really wanting to DH just to maybe have a little better stats with J-Ram off the bench. And that's not really what I'm the most concerned about. I wish, where is he? This card still had his secondaries like he used to, because I would really like to run this captain boost. And you can't run the pitcher one, because that is a waste of a rotation spot. But +5 power to him, also to Royce Lewis. That's 3 in your starting lineup. If he still had shortstop, first base, second base, left field, secondary. Plate vision. I mean, he could use some vision. This is the best vision we've ever got on a Buxton card, but a little bit never hurts. Trying to see if there's even another. There's a Harrison Bader card that's not bad. A little more pop, a little more vision. A little more pop on this card wouldn't be bad, but he really needs the double boost. This Jim Cat card is just god-awful. God-awful. .91 clutch is still pretty good. I do love his swing. I cooled way off with him. I was doing really good. I really like Delgado card, so I'd like to give this card a shot. It kind of stinks that he came out with no secondaries right when I knew, like, that's why I said I was going with, let
me, I haven't even switched back over and looked yet. It is 64%.
I mean, I feel like I really do need to run this because the bench guys aren't that essential. Like, he's a switch hitter. I mean, honestly, no, I really don't. Is there another reliever that I'd rather run that would be better? like having the one. I mean, honestly, I think I just need to run naked with no captain boost. I need to just run my best players at this point on this, because none of the captain boosts are really worth the shit. His attributes are just so awesome. You give him a shot against a lefty and just hope that the attributes take 121. Vision kind of sucks, but he's like the best statistical hitting card in the game other than Beltron. And this next weekend's Weekend Classic, so I don't think there's going to be anything major come out that's going to change this lineup before then. Probably go like that. Make sure Bo gets the spot behind the... no, I will leave it that way because I don't like Scott Rowland's swing as much as Bo's. And Yasmani is a little worse against lefty. Yeah, he's a little worse against lefty. So if you're going to bring in a reliever, it would probably be a lefty. Take 11 power and 2 contact away from him. And then you can pinch hit for Jock, but Scott Rowland's just what he's going to be. The attributes got to carry. I do kind of like this little sandwich that I have here. He's worse against lefties, but he's a switch hitter, so I'm comfortable, honestly, with either. I like his swing. And then, love Brian Dozier's swing. Can't tell you how excited I was about this card. I mean, honestly, is that something I consider doing? Is running this instead? There's 3 there. It's only +3, isn't it, though? I think it's only +3. Yeah, it's not really worth it to do that. It just feels dumb to like. I like Royce Lewis's swing. He has no quirks because he's been hurt. He has 2 useless quirks because he's been hurt. That little, the +3 power is the same as the Blue Jays one. Like, it's so minimal, it's not worth changing anything on your team to run it, including putting him in the lineup. If I was going to do something like that to replace Scott Rowland, I should put J-Ram here, and then I should put him here and run this double boost. This would be way more viable, I think, if I had Santana, which would move probably Osmani to my bench and get rid of Ted Simmons. But Santana's got the better arm. Just out of curiosity, how much is this collection costing right now? Because I would love to have the Santana card, but I'm still a ways away. I need 6. 37. 51. 75. 91. 127.
163,000 away. So yeah, not great. Did I just not silent? I did. Why is it still showing me? I don't know. I would love to be able to run more of the Braves team. That would be fun. You know, like actually use the team that you like and their captain boost, but they nerfed the boost again. We already didn't have a great boost before the second set of them came out. We got +5, +8, and +10 when there were others that got +5, +10, +15, or +8, +12, +20. And they nerfed us even harder. Hopefully that means we're getting more good cards soon. Unfortunately, a realization I had today while I was driving for some reason, this Chase Pack Acuna probably guarantees that we're not getting an all-star card Acuna unless he forces them to. Like if he's... I don't think... He said he's going to not even steal as many bags as he's had been doing to try to stay healthier. But he'd have to win the Home Run Derby or compete in the Home Run Derby to get a card, or he'd have to get All-Star Game MVP, which could be possible. Those are like the only ways that I could see them being forced into giving him an All-Star card. He's going to be an All-Star. He's one of the most popular players in the game. He's going to get the votes to be an All-Star, maybe even a starting outfielder. But this is a 94 overall. I have a strange feeling, based on the Sammy Sosa that we just saw, that the team affinity all-star cards are probably going to be like 95s. And so I don't think there's any way they give him an all-star card. If we have any other guy on the team that gets voted an all-star, like Drake Baldwin, exciting young rookie, if Ozzie turns it around, Chris Sale, Spencer Strider, Marcelo Ozuna, Matt. We got plenty of other dudes that can get hot and just based off of like popularity around the league could get voted in as an all-star as well. I just don't see there being any way that they give him an all-star card unless there's like some scenario where he wins something at the all-star weekend that forces their hand, in which he may compete in the Home Run Derby with it being in Atlanta. Who knows? He had a very poor showing a few years ago when he did, was it in LA in 22, I believe? Like got eliminated in the first round. Like kind of just looked like he really wasn't interested in being out there and didn't look like he was really trying. I would see it being much more likely that like Matt Olson or Ozuna competes in the All-Star Home Run Derby. Maybe Austin. He's never done it before. That would be I'd like to see him in the Home Run Derby. He's a big, strong dude. That might be kind of fun. Anybody want to indulge me? Let's go through the live series of each team and let's talk about who's potential All-Stars, potential Home Run Derby participants. You always got to talk about these three right here with the Orioles, even with how bad they are so far this year, and partially because of how bad their number one overall draft pick and catcher and their team captain is doing. He's having a pretty bad year, sitting like 230 with almost no home runs this year. Gunner's not been terrible, but like I said, just off a name alone, you got to figure those three are in the running. Those four, those two,
I don't think Sedan Raphael is really a name that a lot of people think of, so I don't think he'd really get the votes. He'd probably be a good substitute pick. Trevor Story's a pretty popular name. Home Run Derby. I could see maybe Gunner or Adley doing it again. Devers, maybe. I think Devers has opted out of the All-Star game, though, before, hadn't he? That's an easy one. Judge will probably get the most votes in the American League and start in the All-Star game. Will he compete in the Home Run Derby? I would like to see him do it again. He did it a couple times when he was younger, and he hadn't really shown interest since, but I'd like to see him. Bellinger, kind of having a middling, not terrible, but middling year, maybe. Jazz is always kind of a toss-up. I feel like he's a fan favorite, even if he's not performing that well, so he could get votes. They're going to have to send somebody from this team. I don't know who you send. Probably Yandy. What's that other dude's name? Jonathan Aranda. He's been having a pretty decent year. He's also got the privilege of only playing against righties, I think. So he's getting a lot more at-bats against righties than lefties, and he's performing well against righties. But yeah, I don't see any real reason that anybody else... I mean, McClanahan's hurt and not pitching, right? I'm pretty sure. Maybe Caminero, Brandon Lau. They're going to get at least one representative. Vlad Jr. Also maybe a home run derby participant. Hasn't he won it twice? I could see him throwing his name back in the hat. Bo's getting kind of hot right now, too. His prices actually dip back down a little bit. Yeah, they've got to send somebody. Somebody. And I think he'd be your best overall pick to just represent the team, but they may send some younger person. Who knows? Yeah. Probably those four. Maybe Bo Naylor as a sneaky fifth option to be an all-star. But these two for sure. Jose and Emmanuel. Cade Smith's been having a good year, so you feel like he's kind of got to be in the conversation. And Stephen Kwan is Stephen Kwan. He's going to hit 300 and hit 4 home runs on the year with an OPS of 750, being carried heavily by his on base. That's probably a bit drastic because he is like a 300 hitter. But you get what I'm saying. Dude hits for almost no power. J-Ram competed in 22 in the home run derby. Maybe he would again. Honestly, I think Carlos Santana might be fun to watch in a home run derby, but it'd be the only way he'd be an all-star. That is a hot topic that we will get to in a minute. That will be a hot topic that we get to. Don't worry. Scooble, Carrie Bonds, maybe Riley Green. I feel like Riley Green always kind of has his name in the hat for all-star as well. Kind of struggling so far for the Royals. Bobby Witt Jr. is probably going to start at shortstop, though. Cole Reagans can stay healthy till then. He may get the nod. Lucas Ursig could get a nod. I feel like he's another name that people kind of know. I've had the music muted for way too long, my bad. Buxton. If the MLB The Show community really goes out and votes, this douchebag that throws really weird. The last thing we need is another card of him. Because this one's expensive as hell because everybody knows he's the weirdest throwing. Like, he doesn't throw submarine. He throws overhand, but the release and the way it's animated in the game, shit looks like it comes out the back of his wrist or something. Like, as he's coming through, it doesn't seem like the ball comes out until his hand is down. It's fucking weird, man. For somebody that throws low 90s, he is one of the harder dudes to hit. Yeah. I guess I didn't mention Max because he did just get shelled super hard, and that could be the Braves bias of recent years, where he is very kind of like last year. He was super shit like the first 5 or 6 starts, and then wasn't an all-star because he had just kind of started trending up. But yeah, I agree. Other than the outing, like he's been the best pitcher in baseball, other than giving up, what was it, 8 runs to the Dodgers, and a shit ton of them were on home runs. Like that didn't look great. And like I said, it's probably a bit of my Braves fan bias because that's been kind of the story of Max. I don't think he's ever just. I'm trying to think of maybe a year where he did. He was pretty good in 22. Didn't he lead the league in wins in 22? Am I remembering that correctly? I feel like he led the National League in wins in 22. But otherwise, most years with Max, he's going to give you a few good starts in a row, and then he's going to be pretty average or terrible for a few in a row. Dangus. Jeremy Pena. Great DH, obviously. Jeremy Pena, I'd like for him to turn it back. Remember his freaking postseason card from 22 was, or not just that, but his live series that was supercharged during the postseason because of how good he was doing. Was it only 6? It may have only been 6. If they yanked him soon enough, because they got the shit kicked out of him like 14-2 or 14-4 or whatever the fuck it was. So maybe they yanked him before it got way out of hand. Hunter Brown having an awesome year as well, so probably an all-star. Mike Trout is the easiest pencil in. If he's healthy, he's the only person that can probably rival Judge for the most votes in the American League. Now that Ohtani, yeah, since Ohtani. That's what I was thinking. I thought I remembered that he was pretty good in 22. After, like, coming off the World Series, that he was like one of our more dependable guys, with Strider having his breakout year. We were pretty banged up in the rotation that year. I remember we kind of leaned hard on Morton, and I think he spent a little time on the IL that year, didn't he? Neto and O'Hoppe and Kenley. I'd like Rengifo to be an all-star, so that there'd be another card besides this expensive-ass one of his, because he's got a good swing. He's got dead red and unfazed as well. That's crazy, because I feel like he had a pretty shit year last year, too. But there's your all-star. He's top 4. Tyler Soderstrom's sneaky good candidate. Lawrence Butler could get hot and become a sneaky candidate for all-star. But these guys are carrying the workload right now, so... JP Sears, I guess, because he's their top starter right now. Sevy's kind of been hit or miss. All of these top 8 guys could. And Polanco and Crawford. And Randy. Brash could get a substitute nod to be in the bullpen. Like, there's quite a few to pick here. Their pitching staff's very good. Their offense is kind of meh. Julio hadn't been playing like he deserves to be an all-star, but on name recognition alone, he might get it. He's like the one dude from the Mariners fan base that they'd go out for and vote for and force, I feel like. Side note, I haven't talked about this yet. I had a couple of the biggest morons sitting behind me today. Didn't know shit about baseball, running their mouth about all kinds of shit, trying to call balls and strikes from 600 feet away from home plate, 100 feet above where they were being thrown. They talked shit about Corey Seager and the at-bats that he had, talking about how terrible they thought he was, and I just wanted to be like, yeah, the 2-time World Series MVP. He's pretty shit. You're correct. In the first or second inning, they were talking shit about DeGrom because they didn't think he was throwing strikes enough. And they were like, get him out of there. He's fucking terrible. And I just want to be like, yeah, the 2-time Cy Young Award winner who's been absolutely lights out in his last 4 starts. Get him out of there because he's thrown a few balls. Get him the fuck out of there. Because of them facing a righty today and the way the lineup was constructed, Josh Young was hitting 4th, who's been having a pretty poor year. Granted, he's coming off of an injury, I believe, so he could still turn it around. But if I know anything about baseball and how lineups are made, this is our best hitter. As he walked up after the 2-time World Series MVP, who routinely hits 30, 40 bombs and, hits around 300. But whatever, if he knows anything. Just drove me nuts every time they opened their mouth, man. Don't feel like I should spend much time talking about the Braves because it'd be a little biased, but kind of like I said, we could start the conversation about people being all-stars only because of participating in the home run derby. Like, they still suit up for the all-star game. They're just not technically on the roster to play, I believe. Unless it's like an extra inning scenario or something and everyone else has been used. But Olson's gotten kind of hot. He could still sneak in as an all-star. Ozuna could be an all-star. I feel like because of all the stuff he had off the field go on, it's not likely for him to get the votes. He was an all-star last year because of the home run derby, if I remember correctly. These 3, just off of, popularity and performance, possibly performance, and more likely to be popular because he's been better, but he wasn't great to start. I'll put it that way. And then Strider's gonna have to turn it on, or it would just be off of. Dude, it was abysmal. It was everything I could do not to turn around and correct like every stupid thing they said. Schwelly and Austin. I would like to see Schwellenbach get the nod. It may not happen because he's a rookie, and his name probably hadn't circulated the league enough for him to. He'd have to have another couple big outings against other big name teams. Austin.
He usually starts, kind of slower, gets hot before the All-Star break. So, like, the month of June would be a great time to get hot and hit, like, 400 with 12 bombs or something. He got snubbed in 22 from the All-Star team and then ended up getting the Lightning Player of the Month for July. Loved that card. That card was awesome. Drake, I do feel like his name's starting to circulate, and it's kind of starting to become known that he's kind of in the front running for Rookie of the Year so far in the NL. Pick your one guy you want to represent one of the worst teams in baseball. I don't know. See, I don't think he will, because they really only vote on the DH spot for the starting lineup, and the problem is that Ohtani exists. If Ohtani was still in the American League, I think for sure Ozuna does. But just off of name alone, Ohtani's going to blow everyone else out of the water in votes in the NL, and it won't even be close. Probably because of the international factor as well. He could still make the roster. I just don't see it being real likely. Maybe because we're hosting, he'd get one of the open, substitute spots. We'll just have to see. I don't really know who you give. Otto, Jesus. Is Sandy even pitching right now? Like, I don't even know if he's fucking pitching. Xavier hadn't been hitting worth a shit. Matt Mervis came out the gates hot, but he hasn't really been great as of late. Yeah. You forgot about that Japanese unicorn that throws 100 miles an hour and is the only person in history to hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases? You forgot about that guy? I think, like I said, it's kind of like a 50-50 toss-up. There's a chance he could get the nod. I feel like a lot of people still hold the DUI and the domestic thing against him outside of Braves fandom. Like, I've kind of let it go at this point. You know, we haven't had any repeats since that. This is where the real topic comes in with the stupid. Like, they weren't great last year going into the All-Star break, so they got one representative because nobody on their team got voted to the All-Star team. They wanted Pete Alonso to compete in the Home Run Derby so bad, but the only way he would compete in the Home Run Derby is if he was selected as an All-Star. So the league selected him as an All-Star over the guy that was clearly their best player last year going into the All-Star break. The biggest snub because your idiot teammate says, well, I won't compete in the Home Run Derby if I'm not an All-Star. And it's like, well, dude, you're hitting 215 with 100 strikeouts, and you guys aren't playing very good. They just want to see your big ass try to hit some home runs. Somebody wants to see you play right now. Listen, never said I was a smart man. Hey, that's true. Nobody ever accused me of being smart. But I think, like, we shouldn't be selecting all-stars because guys are like, well, I'm not going to compete in the Home Run Derby if I'm not an all-star. Cool, then we'll find somebody else to do the exhibition Home Run Derby. Like, the all-star game should be about the people who are performing the best. And if we're going to, like, mandate that each team gets to send one person, let's use our fucking brains and make it be the best person on their team. Not the guy that wasn't hitting great, and if it wasn't for a couple home runs he hit in the postseason, wouldn't be a Met anymore. I'm just going to throw that out there. He put up a pretty below-average year, even by Pete Alonso standards last year, and they were going to let that motherfucker walk. But because he hit 2 emotional home runs in the postseason, including one that kept them from getting eliminated by the Brewers, they re-signed him to whatever, 2-year with a third option or whatever the fuck it is. Also seen the, very subtle shot that Soto threw out there about not getting really good pitches to hit so far this year, and that's because Pete Alonso's behind him and people have been deciding to challenge Pete Alonso and not Juan Soto. Now, Pete's been hitting fairly decent this year, but that's just unfortunate for Soto because of how their lineup's constructed. People are like, let's not pitch to Soto. Let's see if he'll chase anything, which he has, unfortunately, sometimes. And then they're attacking Pete, but Pete's been hitting decent this year. But I'm going to be honest, if I'm picking between one of these two guys to face, I'm going after Pete all day, every day. I'm not going after freaking Soto. Dang. Am I blanking on somebody? Another team that could just have shit tons of all-stars. Like, I don't think JT's going to be up there, or Bryson, but Schwarber, and then these 3. Maybe Jesus because he's had a good start to the year. Nationals, I think James Wood's an easy selection. Mackenzie Gore's been good, so he'll probably get a league nomination. Dinger's the name of their mascot? Okay. That's fair. On a serious note, you're going to make me skip over a whole bunch of teams to get to that already. What's his fucking name? Hunter Goodman's actually been pretty good. Even though they've been shit. He's been pretty good, and so has, what's the other guy's name? Jordan Beck. I think he's cooled off a good bit, but Goodman's been pretty consistent for them so far. And Ezekiel Tovar won a Gold Glove last year, and he's kind of doing the exact same thing he did last year. This year, he's hitting like mid-200s. I could see. They'll probably still only get one nomination.
I'd say Pete Crow and Kyle are probably really likely. Dansby, if he was hot for like a 2-week stretch, and he's cooled off over the last week. If he picks it back up again, maybe. I don't know. Ellie, super easy. People that don't even like the Reds will vote for Ellie. I'd like to see Ellie compete in the home run derby this year, honestly. I'd like for the league to be like, hey, Ellie, and hey, O'Neal Cruz, get your asses out there and try to hit some home runs, please. But I think those two are probably the only two that are likely. Probably Christian Yelich, and that may be it from here. They've been kind of middle of the road so far. They've actually had some surprising series, like wins. I think maybe they even swept the Phillies this weekend. I don't remember now. But I don't feel like anybody for them's performing that great. And Yelich is the only one that's like name alone will get him in. Maybe Contreras, but he's been pretty cold lately. Those two. Brian Reynolds is always a pretty popular vote as well. Maybe Kutch, because I think Kutch may be knocking on the door of retirement after this year. He just hit his 240th home run, I believe, today. They've been really hot lately. So, I mean, I feel like they should get a few. Like, they won, like, 18 out of 20 or 22 games or something. And Nolan Arenado's not been playing great. I don't feel like you vote for Mason Wynn based on his defense. I mean, Contreras is probably the bigger, smarter pick. Brendan Donovan's hitting like 320 with no home runs. Yep. I don't know that Corbin Burns is going to pitch the rest of this year. He seemed to think that he blew his elbow out today when he was pitching, so that's kind of sad. But these two, maybe Josh Naylor and Eugenio, if they need like substitute to fill out the roster, but I feel like the two of them are pretty sure picks. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'd like to see him, and I'd like to see Ellie De La Cruz in the home run derby, which Ellie did say last year that he would be open to the idea of doing it in the future, but he didn't want to as a rookie. I guess he just wanted to focus more on the game, which he wasn't even a starter, so I mean, but whatever. Everybody can approach All-Star Weekend and they're like however they want. We talked about them, so moving on. The whole fucking team. They went out and signed an entire All-Star team. I guess they all get to go to the All-Star break. No, I'm kidding. It is tough, though, because I feel like National League catcher-wise, who else over Will Smith should get picked? I don't know that anybody else does. But I feel like if you're going to pick quite a few Dodgers, he may be the one that gets kind of left out from the position players. Teo's going to get the vote. He's probably going to compete in the home run derby. I hope he does. I hate when people win the home run derby and then don't compete in it the next year. Pisses me off. Like, we don't even get to see them try to defend. Whatever. Moving on. Those three, like, almost guaranteed. Maybe even starters. Yamamoto's been really good this year, so maybe. And then maybe Tanner Scott. Kershaw probably gets a commissioner vote because I can't believe he came back after last year. All the shoulder trouble he had, barely pitched last year, and they won the World Series. Like, kind of was time to ride off in the sunset, but I know it's tough when you weren't pitching. Fuck, man. Rocky's down to a bronze. Whoa. Another one I feel like, if he's healthy, possibly, but those three for them for sure. Jackson Merrill's been pretty hot. Tatis is like one of the most popular players in the league. And then Machado's been very hot lately, and he's a pretty popular name. And then last, I again, I feel like they're not having a very great year, so it's like one person's going to get to go. Is it going to be Logan Webb for like the third year in a row because he's their best pitcher? Maybe. Jung Hoo Lee's been decent. I'd rather see him or Elliot Ramos go for the first time. Yeah.
I figured this might be a more fun way to see if we can get anything decent than doing the just selling this crap when I get it. 75. Do I have a spare 75 for an exchange? I do not. Okay. I've been trying to save some silvers and maybe do the silver to gold exchange and see if we get any luck here. There we go. I don't want to waste a whole bunch of... That's not going to feel lovely. Oh.
Okay. How many did they give me? Like 6 or 7? 7. Let's see if we get anything decent out of it. Ouch. Not a great start. A little better, but not great. There is... I thought there was a chance to pull diamonds out of this. I guess not. That one hurts the old profit a little bit. Pulling 83s or higher is really where you make your profit on doing this. Ouch. I mean, for how probably still pretty positive doing that instead of just selling the silvers. Mm. Let's do probably for that more. Hmm. Hmm. Feel myself hitting a wall really early tonight since I didn't sleep much at work, and I didn't get a nap today. Since we went to the baseball game, I didn't nap during the day with my daughter like I usually do. It helps me power through the night a bit more. Tell me about it. It happens though, man. Oh, excuse me. pitching stat does Austin boost? K per 9. So 8K per 9. The clutch on this card is still really bad, but otherwise not terrible. I'm kind of hoping that next week we get a card for Chris Sale. I know it may not be super likely since he's already got a diamond, but he literally was the fastest player in baseball history to reach 2,500 strikeouts. He beat Randy by like 100 innings or 150 innings. So I could definitely see a world where he's the Spotlight program card that we unlock in the Week 5 May Spotlight program, and then you lock him in to get the Lightning player, because they don't like making Lightning players pitchers, but I could see him getting a card. And for it to be good, it would probably have to be the Spotlight card. Either that or they make him a fucking Chase Pack card, which would be just
typical.
Acuna was last week. He is next week. I could fucking see that.
$9,000 subs for You're Killing Me, Smalls. Part of me is tempted to go through and just buy all these cards, like these lower price cards now. 35, 36, 37. Yeah, I feel like 40 is a more round number than 36 or 37. And they won't use rookie for a voucher twice. That'd be all of them but one. Same with this, like all of them but one maybe. This has got to be the one I skipped this time, I think. Because, good God, let's keep pumping out chase packs with All-Star cards or World Series. Oh, that's not good. I have 20 out of 36. That's not good. This one's gotten a little ridiculous as well. I just haven't kept up with these headliners because I don't really want to. 19K for a pitcher that I'm never going to throw. 18K for a guy that's never going to pitch for me. 2 chase pack players and a World Series player. Actually caught way back up on second half. It was the one that I didn't do. First got rolling because of Randy, Chase Headley. I also didn't have Trevor Hoffman. They're still also 2 weeks away, so I mean they could put out more cards to completely change the layout of some of these. And you not really know going into it, but I don't know. Feel fairly prepared other than just spending a bunch of money on cards I don't really need. Just like halfway. Jeez. Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. Not even gonna happen this year. Definitely not happening this year. This doesn't come out for a month, and there's a May spotlight drop for, or maybe it's just because it's what's in the game now, I guess. Who knows? That's quite a ways up there. Yay, I got a patch. Yay. Do I want one more pack? And 4,000 XP? No, I don't. I suppose it would be faster just to look in their collection.
That's a weird one. 3, 7, 10. When a lot of them are 3, 5, 8. One-sided boost. Shohei right here out of this singular pack. We didn't. Never mind. We got Kyle fucking Freeland. Oi. Lord.
Well, I have hit the wall hard, so I apologize, but I'm calling it a night. I'll be back live again tomorrow, more well rested, so